Oscar. Hey, buddy. Hey, how you feeling? Oh, that was some ordeal. I'm back. Hi. Hi, everybody. Tasha here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back. It's everybody new. Hello and welcome. This is a little bit of a different video that I'm doing, or different beginning. We had a big scare with Oscar. Boy, Oscar's had a few scares through the years, but he had to have a pretty big procedure, I guess you'd say. Big, yeah. Oh my goodness. And he made Mommy very, very nervous. So let me see. I think Oscar's probably ready, about to be picked up. So just get the boppy set up over here, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you all what happened. Alright, come on, buddy. Oh, there we go. Careful with you. So I filmed a video sharing Oscar and did a drink and wet, but realized that it was kind of towards the end of the video because I was going slow, that none of the water in the bottle went down. So he was, quote, choking. And it was just, once I lifted him, really, it was just spitting all over. And oh my goodness, I was so scared. And his diaper was completely dry. So I was like, oh my gosh. So this video, as we nurse little Oscar back to health, little role play, I'm going to talk about your silicones and their drinking wets. All right. So, for all of you new, this is Oscar. Oscar is a full-bodied silicone baby. I'll just say hi there. Oscar's a full-bodied silicone baby boy. He's the Dwayne Awake #2 by Claire Taylor. I might actually post, I'm not sure, the video that I made where afterwards I realized we were having an emergency. A silicone baby doll emergency. Yeah. I was talking about, because the holidays, are upon us, and I'm going to do a little mini series of, for those of you newbies out there looking to buy your first reborn or silicone baby doll for the holidays, for yourself or for a loved one. It's a now is a time that people shop and maybe will spend that extra chunk of change to get something that they really want, So it's a great time to help the newbies, through it, because man, oh man, is there just so much. But it's like any other, real big ticket item. You have to do your research. That's key. So, with that said, I'm not going to make this video that, but just to say that Oscar is a one-of-a-kind baby. There's 5 Dwayne Awakes plus the prototype worldwide. And each one is different. It's the same sculpt, but each one, well, so, they even vary the same sculpt, because most of the mommies that have the Dwayne Awake and Dwayne Asleeps, we kind of compare, and the little differences, but it's the same sculpt, but they're all painted completely different, and there's girls, and boys. So I think there's 2 girls in the Dwayne Awake edition. So, because I get a lot of people say, like on my Instagram, they'll comment, how much is this baby, or can I order this doll? And first off, I mean, they don't pay attention to the fact that I am not an artist. I'm not selling dolls. I mean, that's right in my bio, dolls not for sale, but whatever. But people just don't realize, like, no, you can't just go order one like him. Anyhow, so little Oscar here, let's get back to him. But I want to take care of him here, and since we fixed things, he's hungry, and I'm gonna let him finish his bottle. And actually, I mean, I tested it now a bit, but I just want to test it again while I'm sitting here chatting with you all. His drinking wet, and I will explain what happened. There's lubricant already on here for him. And I do know that I need to be careful and make sure he is leaning back in a good position to take the water down. And that could have been part of the problem, that when I make videos, I was feeding him more, holding him up like you would a real baby, because a real baby you want to kind of get as high as you can, whereas a silicone baby, you really need to, I suppose, go as low as you can, and so that it opens up the back of the throat there, especially on Oscar, which I kind of fished around, I guess, to say the least, and learned some of the anatomy down his throat. Let's just say that. Because when I got my finger in there, I could feel that the tube, first off, I think the tube did slip, like way past, where it should be. And he's so well done. Claire Silicone is just so well done that it's so incredibly tight, that once it's kind of slipped past, it was very, very difficult to bring up a bit, enough to where it kept that, opening in the back just enough for it to be going down. Okay, so I just want to stop and check. And honestly, yeah, because, oh, wait. I can't see in there, but honestly, being the fact that Oscar, I believe the Dwaynes were made, oh, somebody's gonna have to correct me and fix me, were they made in 2018, somewhere around there? I mean, I've had Oscar 2 years now, in my 3rd year with him, because in after the holidays, January, February, March, it'll be 3 years. So I was like very willing, like thinking to myself, if his drinking wet systems went at this point, I'm perfectly okay with it. Except for the fact that as I was kind of moving him around and stuff, I was realizing, yeah, there's still like gonna be water now stuck in the tubes, and I didn't want that. So I really wanted to try hard to get his drinking wet system like flowing again. So maybe after this I may not use his drinking wet anymore. And because I can just, do like I normally do, use a sealed bottle and still enjoy feeding him. It might be time, it might be a sign. I had to go in with this, and you can't see because it's so down there. So I had to put one finger in, feel, and get this down and visualize. So let me tell you all something. It was like, very, very, very carefully. And it was like doing surgery. Seriously. So now I am his diaper's pretty full because I've been doing this a bit. But I'm gonna undo his diaper. I'll try not. That wasn't very good. I didn't realize because I wasn't looking up. But I don't, want to get people's panties all in a bundle. But I want to. Okay, yes, we got it. It's coming out. I'm sure you all would probably really like to see this. I mean, they show babies being born and peeing all the time. I mean, let's see. Can we see? It's just kind of running out. It's not, I might just not have enough in there to spray, but anyway, we'll see. Let's see how much more we can give him. But so I mean, it's silly. You know what? That's another topic because it went around, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I just I wasn't it wasn't so important to jump right on it for me, but being I do own full-bodied silicones, and I normally actually don't really worry too much about covering them. I mean, there was a time that YouTube was like flagging our videos and things, and it was during the time of COPPA, and I think their algorithms just didn't have it down. Like, there was a time their algorithms were picking up these dolls as real babies, and then, that's understandable, but I probably enough, doll channels, sent in, this is just a doll, I asked to have it reviewed, and so on. I mean, you can only guess, right? Nowadays, I've powdered, I think I powdered Oscar completely. Like I left his, privates covered until I needed to powder them, but I still showed, because to me it's no big deal. But I'm gonna do a chat video on that. But right now, let's just focus on getting Oscar well. This was a super scary experience for me as a collector, because it's not like I could send him back to the artist to fix, because I'm not his first mommy. So Claire Taylor, like, she doesn't work on her, dolls, which is very understandable. I mean, she's been an artist for many years, and if you start agreeing to take back every doll from the past over a span of how many years, I mean, that's crazy, you understand. So, of course, there's a warranty, and it may be, I don't know what her time length is. If there is a time length, that I don't know, because I've never bought directly from Claire Taylor. All I do know is that, for her to honor what, fixing, you'd need to be the first mommy. So, and that's understandable. It's like that with a car. It's like that with a lot of things you buy, that, the original owner gets a warranty. It's, maybe for a certain amount of time. And that's it. Once something is sold on secondhand, now there are some artists out there that will work on any of their dolls, but a lot of them don't. So here I am now panicking, and I'm also, this is not exactly an art thing. This is a, you know, tube and silicone issue. I mean, you know, unless he was going back to the artist that sculpted him, that poured him, that created him, that knows the inside of his anatomy, any other artist would have been fishing around just like I was, right? So it's just a matter of, you know, either you're brave enough to deal with that, I guess, you know, or just have, I don't know, have some confidence to carefully, you know, whatever. But I was able to, and I actually had to kind of turn it, I think turning it, hooking it with my finger, manipulating the outside and his neck and holding him up in positions. And then, it was just, and I felt like I had like a choking baby, you know, because he feels so real. So then when you're manipulating it, you know, some is spilling out. Oh boy, no. I think it's just, we got to, yeah, because we're peeing. So anyway, I would have left it. But I did not want to leave water in his system. So even if this is the last time I do it, and this is flushing through, and there is alcohol, rubbing alcohol in the bottle, you know, so it's one last to clear through, you know, and I may use it again. We'll see. But either way, I'm just, look at his little side profile. Like his, oh, look at these little ears. Oh, I love this baby to pieces. So taking care of your drinking wet systems, mommy's out there, silicone mommy's out there. I would just say, you gotta stick your finger gently if your finger fits, you know, not all sculpts, and he's tight, but, you know, use the lubricant. I use you know, many silicone collectors use KY jelly or a generic of it. You just want to make sure that you're using a water-based lubricant. Like this happens to be CVS brand. I believe the dollar store carries it. You can get name brand KY. I just wouldn't get any of that fancy stuff. Just straight up, you know, lubricant. KY lubricant. Water-based. Don't use Vaseline or anything oil-based. Water-based. Okay. So this is important, and of course that gives you much more of a slide, and there's not friction and things like that. So and also look, I know some collectors, there are some artists, I know there's at least one type made, and I'm sorry, I forget who the silicone artist is that made it specifically for silicones. So it's made by a silicone artist specifically for silicones. But I honestly, and now I researched the use of the KY jelly a couple years ago when I was first doing drinking wet, and couldn't find any collectors that have been using it for years anywhere that had any sort of issue with it, or that it did anything but helped, you know, from paint loss, tears, and things like that. But it's, you know, that's just my research and what I did or didn't find. And I've now 2 years going in to, you know, using it myself, and have had zero issues. But it's always great to buy things directly from you know, that's from an artist that works with the materials, you know, because you never know. My silicones may have been fine with it and another one wouldn't. I don't know. Anyhow, and you know, it's nice to support our artists. So, um, Diana at Sundance Mom, in one of her videos, she shares what kind of lubricant that is. And if Diana, if you happen to catch this video and you put in the comments, because I think it's the artist that did your beautiful Isabella, I believe. And is it Pixie Kiss? I don't know. Diana will put it in, or I'll ask her and I'll pin it in the comments. All right, folks. So you have that, and I would say regularly check that tube in the back of the throat. And if you feel it moving or slipping at all, I would talk to the artist or an artist if you can. Otherwise, you're left to your own... gotta figure it out. And you know, I don't want to tell anyone to work on their own doll, you know, without, you know, I am not an artist. I've just, you know, I've been collecting for several years and I was comfortable enough. I am learning to paint reborns at the moment, but you know, I'm certainly not a silicone artist or a sculptor. I don't pour them. I don't, you know, but I guess I've just been around and I study things and I pay a lot of attention. And, you know, I realize that, you know, our artists, you know, and sculptors that create these dolls, well, they're just like us, and things is trial and error and things like that. I mean, they're extraordinarily talented people, but this is like a technical issue. It's not a paint issue. It's not, you know, so as I said, you know, Oscar was comfortable having mommy take care of him in the Pixie Hospital. So that is what we did. And mommy did a good job. And we have a little bum bum. And I spent some time with him, you know, just in his diaper or like this, in the towel. And I was just holding him and just like so relieved, like, oh, you're okay. You know, because I was scared, and I was scared myself of doing any damage to him. I mean, obviously you can't see the inside of the mouth that I couldn't even see with a flashlight. I had to go in and with those things and visualize. But still, the fear is still there when it's something that you've never done before, you know, and you just, you know, again, I was incredibly careful, but feeling I was able to visualize, and it was really just a matter of manipulating, but I really had to manipulate him, you know, and it was uncomfortable feeling. But in the same token, I know this doll so well, you know, I've had him, you know, for 2 years now, going on, you know, 2.5 years, right? And I spend a lot of time, you know, I spend the most time with all the dolls in my collection with Oscar. So I know him well. So I know his silicone limitations of how far things can be pushed before you might start worrying. And that's helpful. If it was a doll that I did not know well, it would be an issue. But when you're buying, if you are buying secondhand from another collector, and the drink and wet system is something that's important to you, that you plan on using, that, you know, I would absolutely want to know it's working properly, you know, before purchasing. And, you know, if it's from an artist, obviously the artists are checking the drink and wet systems. And if you've not had the baby very long, and you've bought the doll new from the artist, if something then goes wrong and you really don't know the doll because it's not been a long time, that artist should absolutely, fix the drink, be it, offer to fix. That would be one, I would expect that. And otherwise, if it's past a year or you're not the first mom, again, just make sure, that at least you're getting it working, when the doll arrives. And if it's not, then whatever, then you can negotiate, if however you want, with price or whatever you want to do. You just want to be aware. And drinking wet systems can be not important at all to some collectors, and to other collectors it can make it or break it. So it totally depends. But in little Oscar's case here, I wanted to make sure that I got it working again, or at least got all the water out of him. And I guess kind of as I was manipulating him around, and like I literally had him like a real baby, kind of upside down and all around. And it was just, if I wasn't so scared, it would have been really hysterical, because he just was so lifelike. And it just felt like I had delivered a baby, and I was handling a baby right out of the womb, like I was a doctor. It's exactly what it felt like. Seriously. It would have been fun if I wasn't freaking out scared that there was something, not wrong with my Oscar that I might not be able to fix, or that I might, hurt him. Well, hurt, but damage him in some way, like, oh my gosh. Because look at how he just, when you see him in his beautiful glory, look at how the movement on this baby is just incredible, but in turn, you got a whole tube in there through his whole body, and a spine. So, and he's so pliable. So, like, as I said, I was just going up and doing this and that and the other thing. But it's, understandable why the tube slipped, because I'm sitting here when I feed him, sitting here going like this and that and the other thing. And of course, over time, things happen. These dolls don't stay brand new forever, especially when we are handling them. And I know a lot of you out there handle your dolls as little as possible and just change them, and they're more for show, and that's fantastic. The dolls will not have as much wear and tear on them, obviously. Those of us that role play and handle our dolls and change them often, it's, you're putting wear and tear on your doll. Of course you are. But that's, a lot of us, just, of course you want to enjoy what you paid for and invested in the way that you would like to enjoy it. For me, it would be like buying a really nice car, and then just keeping it in the garage and only taking it out for shows once in a while, or even just for a Sunday drive. To me, if I was investing a nice amount of money in a vehicle, I'd want it to have 4-wheel drive, and I don't want to be, able to tote my family around and my groceries and, furniture and whole things, and because that's the kind of person I am. And we're all different. But either way, if you use a drink and wet system, it's something to think about. And, you can feel the tube in the back of the throat there. I would just say carefully, because all sculpts are different. I don't know your sculpt, so you don't want to get your fingers in there if if it's working fine and everything, because you don't want to move anything that's going to move that, you know, just be really careful, or even reach out and ask the artist. If you've never felt the tube in the back of the throat, maybe ask, is it okay? How secure is it? How tight, you know, just, and some of them have the sculpt has like an open mouth or a semi-open mouth, like the Willow does. I can see the tube in the back of her throat. You know, I mean, you can't see it just, you know, just looking at her, but you know, when I like squeeze her cheeks or just open my mouth herself a little bit, I can see it, is what I'm saying. You can't just see it from looking at the sculpt, but, and so a lot of your sculpts may be like that. You could just see it back there. So you don't even have to feel it. You can see it back there. But Oscar, you definitely couldn't see it because, you know, he's got a closed mouth and everything's sculpted, you know, it's small and tight in there. So, which is good. Like I said, the silicone around the tube is so tight. So those of you that do have, you know, Claire Taylor's Edition dolls, I wouldn't worry too much about but water from the bottles leaking past, you know, the tube and into the body or anything like that. It's like at least in Oscar, in this sculpt, it's like impossible. It's just not gonna go anywhere. So all right, folks, it is now past a half an hour, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and make sure you go now and smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. Also take a look out for all you folks that are going to be interested in my little mini series, which will probably be the next video, or I may just post the one that I made, and that'll start it. But either way, you're not going to want to miss that, especially if you, look at you, you're just so like a newborn, laying yourself out there. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, you're going to want to be subscribed and make sure you have the notifications on. This way you get to see those videos. And they'll also go into my playlist, which you can look at my whole playlist of Learning the Reborn Hobby. There's, you know, lots of good tips in there. I would suggest watching that. And then in addition, if you want to learn more or be in, like, you know, my live streams, I do most of my live streams inside my channel membership. And my channel membership is $1.99 a month. You have to be 18 years or older to join, but for less than the price of a cup of coffee a month, there's a lot of perks. And it's a lot of fun. So, you can click the blue join button next to subscribe, or there is always a link in the description of my videos for the Pixie Squad for membership. There's always lots of stuff in the description. My link to follow me on Instagram, and always all the information on whatever babies I featured in that video. The name of the sculpt, the artist is going to be in there. If I shared any clothing, the brand, all that stuff, I take the time, folks, to type out and put in the description, and also say it in the videos. So it's all there. All right, everyone, until next time, God bless.